Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Big Donch Show. Today, we're going to be recapping Week 16 of the NFL season. Only 2 more weeks left to go now. Steelers, I'm not wearing my Steelers hat. Be right back. Gotta put the Steelers hat on. We got a huge dub today. Well, this weekend. Huge dub this weekend. Happy about it. Mason Rudolph leading the way. George Pickens, even though I made a short on him, saying his attitude's trash, which it still is. Alrighty? That performance does not excuse his ego, his terrible ego and attitude. It's going to bite us in the future. I'm telling you, if he does not get checked. Either way, had a good performance. We pounded the Bengals. Grateful for it. Good win. Hey, we got 2 more weeks left. I don't want to make a playoff still. Listen, I don't change my mind much. I'm serious. When I say something, I usually mean it. Okay? We have a chance to make playoffs. If we win out, teams got to lose, all that great stuff. I still don't want to make playoffs. We're still going to get hammered first round. Simple as that. Bengals, solid team, but they've been struggling lately. I don't have them. Don't give me the Bengals. Don't give me that win as an excuse to say, all right, we're going to the Super Bowl. We can win in the playoffs. I don't want to make playoffs anymore. Mason Rudolph played great football. He's starting this week against the Seahawks. I'm excited to see it. I don't want to make playoffs anymore. I'm sorry. I know I sound like a fake Steelers fan. But I'm sick of it. I don't want to get wiped out again in the first round. Alrighty? Next year, we got to go after. But Mason Rudolph, what I do want to see is great football from him. I'm grateful he had a chance. He played very good football. We knew that. The quick slant to Pickens, anybody could throw. Alrighty? But he had some other good throws that were really good. Listen, I'm happy about it. Now we also though gotta. So that knocks out Mitch. That knocks Mitch out of the conversation from now on. Officially out of the conversation. Mason is our backup number 2 guaranteed. He's our number 2 quarterback guaranteed. Okay, that brings the question of can he pick it? Who knows? He's not going to be playing this week. I don't think. He's still trying to get cleared. That leaves up the question for the Ravens. Now, obviously, the coaches, the whole team, the whole organization, majority of us Steelers fans want to make playoffs. If that's the case, well, you got to make a really tough decision. And that's going to be based off of next week or this week coming up against the Seahawks to see how we're going to beat the Ravens if we really want to make the playoffs. Mason Rudolph does good, beats the Seahawks. No reason to replace him with Kenny Pickett. Okay? If he struggles, we still get by like we have been usually other types of games this year, other wins this year. Maybe go to Kenny Pickett. But I don't know. Listen. I like Mason Rudolph. He just got to keep doing what he does. Utilize our receivers. We'll be all right. So there we go. Recapping the Steelers vs. Bengals on Christmas Eve. Okay, let's go back to Thursday now. Rams, Saints, 30-22. Saints, well, the Rams win 30-22. Saints are 7-8 now. They're losing that NFC South. Buccaneers are climbing. I had the Saints winning the NFC South. I had them getting about 9 to 10 wins this year and getting into winning the NFC South. I knew the NFC South was going to be weak. It still is kind of weak compared to other divisions. I like the Saints to be better, man. I like them to be better. Rams are starting to get hot, though. Matt Stafford, 328 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kyren Williams, go Irish, 104 yards and a touchdown. Okay, Puka Nacua, playing good football still as a rookie. 9 receptions, 164 yards and a touchdown. That Rookie of the Year race is getting tougher now. We got to see, though, with C.J. Stroud. How he's doing. He obviously, though, was a lock still. Derek Carr had 319 yards, 3 touchdowns, interceptions, so he did what he could. Okay, 27 completions off 40 attempts. The rushing game has to get going for them. They got to utilize Alvin Kamara more. 19 yards rushing, not good enough. And all the way 16 yards receiving, not good enough. Okay, on the receiving, Rashid Shaheed had 1 touchdown. Juwan Johnson had a touchdown. A.T. Perry had a touchdown. But Chris Olave was their leading receiver, 123 yards. So, Saints, they have a chance to still win the NFC South. But they got to win. They lost to the Falcons a couple weeks ago. That one's going to hurt them. That one hurt the most for them. I'm telling you. Bills, Chargers. Bills win 24-22. Pretty solid game. But too close, though. Too close. Bills are 9-6. Chargers 5-10. Justin Herbert's out, but it's too close for the quarterback situation the Chargers have. Easton Stick, 215 yards, no touchdowns. Josh Allen's a very good quarterback. Top 5 quarterback in the NFL, no doubt about it. Can make a case he's top 3. Nah, top 5. But he turns the ball over way too much. He needs to stop turning the ball over. Alrighty? And he makes up for it most of the time. He didn't make up for it against the Chargers. Only 1 touchdown, 237 yards. Rushing, he had 15 yards, 2 touchdowns, but the majority of touchdowns were on the goal line. He needs to make up for more on the air. They got to be scoring more. They should have blew out the Chargers. Mainly a defensive problem, you should say. I mean, their kicker did pretty good. Chargers kicker. Let's find his name again. Cameron Dicker, 5 for 5 from field goals. So he has 16 total points. Long was 53. So, Bills, though, they'll be in the hunt now. Or I think they're in the wild card. I can see them taking our spot. The Colts, too, they're struggling. They lost to the Falcons this week. So, Bills could get in as a wild card. Obviously, right? And if they do, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Jets, close game against the Commanders. They win 30-28. Jets are 6-9 now. Aaron Rodgers' hopes of coming back are over. It was fun to believe. And of course, the day I bench, Breece Hall had 2 points last week, let me just say. 2 points for me on fantasy last week. So I benched him. I benched him for Rice on the Chiefs for fantasy. I'm in the game to go to the championship in fantasy. Okay, I have money in this league. This is a very important game for me to win. I thought Breece Hall, his season, I don't see him bouncing back. Had 2 points last week against the Dolphins. So I benched him. Puts up 43 fantasy points for me. All right, 12 receptions for 96 yards he had out of the backfield. That's the main reason why I started him earlier in the year, because I knew he was a reception machine. 12 receptions, 96 yards. Where was that last week? Then he had 20 carries for 95 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Only my luck. Jacoby Brissett had 100 yards and a touchdown. They benched Sam Howell. They're going to be going with Jacoby Brissett this week. Chris Rodriguez had 2 touchdowns on the ground. Terry McLaurin, 50 yards receiving. So, Sam Howell, he had 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 56 yards. Going into the season, I did not see much in Sam Howell. But he started to prove me wrong, I'll admit. He was playing good football. He was leading the league in passing yards for quite a bit. He was playing good football. Now he's inconsistent. The blame could be on the offensive line. The Commanders are just a mess when they shouldn't be. Okay, Rivera has to be his last season. But I do think they have a good future. They got to make the right decisions, though. Firing Rivera, cleaning house, really. I mean, Benimi is a good offensive coordinator, obviously. But defensive coordinator, who I think is Del Rio, and then Rivera. Get him out of here if the Commanders really want to be successful. Jets, they're keeping solid. They won. They want to keep him next year because obviously they didn't get to see him with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know, man. Jets would have been fun to watch this year, I'll admit, but the offensive line's terrible regardless. Lions, 30. Vikings, 24. This was a pretty good game. Jared Goff, 257 yards and a touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 12 receptions, 106 yards and a touchdown. Nick Mullins, 411 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Listen, when your opponent's quarterback throws 4 interceptions, winning by 6 is not good enough. I'm sorry. But you can't be winning by 6. That has to be better defensive-wise. Lions defense has been weak this year and last year. We all know that. Ty Chandler had a rushing touchdown. Justin Jefferson had a receiving touchdown. But, come on now. Allowing 24 points, but getting 4 interceptions, that's not good. That's not good for the Lions. They can't be doing that. Browns, Texans, Joe Flacco playing very good football. He turns the ball over a lot, but he's playing good enough for their situation. He had 368 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Davis Mills, so CJ Stroud is out. That's going to hurt his Rookie of the Year chances. Not saying he won't win it, but it definitely hurts the chances, especially with Puka Nacua playing good football. Davis Mills had 149 yards, 2 touchdowns. I'm surprised why. Okay, Keith Keenum did play, but he had 2 interceptions. Jerome Ford had a rushing touchdown. Kareem Hunt had a rushing touchdown. Amari Cooper, what a game from him. 11 receptions, 265 yards, 2 touchdowns. David Njoku, 44 yards and a touchdown. So Texans 8-7 now. Them, the Colts, and the Jaguars competing for that AFC South. I had the Jaguars winning that. Early in the year, I had them winning it. But they're playing bad football now. They're choking. Trevor Lawrence, too. He's not playing good football. They got to play better. Browns, they'll get in with the wild card. They won't win the NFC North, but they'll get in with the wild card, unfortunately. Hate the Browns. I'll be honest. Steelers and Ravens are the biggest rival in the AFC North and probably in the NFL in general. So, I do hate the Ravens. But I hate the Browns, man. I really do hate the Browns. I hate the Browns. It's the fans are so annoying. The Bengals, I don't mind. I honestly never minded the Bengals. They're a fun team to watch. The Ravens, Lamar Jackson's fun to watch. But I do hate the Ravens still. The Browns, though, I'm sure we all agree. Everyone hates the Browns in the NFC North. I'm sorry. Or AFC North. They're just annoying, all right? They've been terrible forever. Poverty franchise, even though they won championships before the Super Bowls. But since the Super Bowl era, they've been poverty. They're starting to get good now. And they're talking crazy. That's why I don't like the Browns this year. Or ever. They're just so annoying. When they sucked, I didn't mind them. It was the Ravens I hated. But now that the Browns are getting good and they're talking way too much, I hate the Browns now. Packers 33, Panthers 30. Packers are 7-8. They're trying to get in. It's going to be tough. Panthers, their season's over. Bryce Young didn't play bad, though. 312 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chuba Hubbard had a touchdown. DJ Chark had 2 touchdowns. Then for the Packers, Jordan Love had 219 yards, 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones, 127 on the ground. Then Romeo Doubs, he had a touchdown. Let's take a look at others. Adam Thielen, though, for the Panthers. He's playing good football. He's on pace to have a 1,000-yard receiving season this year. Didn't have a touchdown. I wanted him to, but he had 94 yards receiving. A.J. Dillon had a rushing touchdown. Jordan Love had a rushing touchdown. Romeo Doubs, like I said, and then Ontavian Wicks had a receiving touchdown. But Jordan Love, though, he grew on me. I didn't really see him much. I mean, he still has to improve, but he played very good football this year. Definitely, surprised by that. Definitely surprised by that. So Packers, they see something in Jordan Love. I definitely do too. Seahawks 20, Titans 17. Geno Smith 2 touchdowns. Kenneth Walker 55 yards on the ground. Tyler Lockett 81 yards. Ryan Tannehill 152 yards. Derrick Henry 1 touchdown. Okonkwo for the Titans, a tight end, 63 yards and a touchdown. Let's take a look at the other stats. DK Metcalf had a touchdown. Colby Parkinson had a touchdown. For the Titans, yeah, like I said. So, and then Derrick Henry had a passing touchdown. He's good with that. I'll admit, he's good with that. Titans are 5-10. Their season's over. Seahawks, though, they're trying to squeeze in. They're going to be competing with the Rams to be getting a wild card, but their chance of winning the division's over. Falcons, Colts. Falcons win 29-10. Gardner Minshew 201 yards and an interception. Tyler Heineke 229 yards and a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor had a rushing touchdown. Tyler Algier, he's back. He had a touchdown. What's up, Joey? Yo, me and you competing for 3rd place in fantasy, dude. I can't believe I choked. We both choked, honestly. We both choked in fantasy this week. It is what it is, though. I'm mad. I was talking about it. Dude, Breece Hall, 43 points randomly. Tony Pollard had 5 points for me. Kyle Pitts had a touchdown, though. So Colts, they're still competing, though, for a wild card spot and the division. Buccaneers 30, Jaguars 12. We were talking about this. Both teams are 8-7 now. Should have started James Conner. Everyone's sold. Yeah, I mean, should have, could have, would have for all of us. I mean, I should have started Breece Hall, but after last week's performance, he sucked and he wasn't projected more than any of my guys, so I benched him. But I wish I could go back, but I can't. So it is what it is. Jacob Gallo about to win his 3rd championship in a row. Something's fixed. Trevor Lawrence, touchdown, 2 interceptions. So he's playing bad football lately. But Jaguars, they're competing for the division and wildcard spot. And so are the Buccaneers. They could win their division. They're top of the division right now. After the Saints, they're choking too. They had that season to them, but they couldn't. Dolphins, Cowboys. Dolphins win 22, Cowboys 20. Cowboys just can't beat the big games. They beat the Eagles, but they're proving they're not that good anymore. Cowboys did clinch. Dolphins, I don't know if they clinched, but pretty obvious if they did. Or at least won the division. 11-4 they are. Dak Prescott didn't play bad. 253 yards, 2 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb, 118 yards and a touchdown. Tua had a touchdown. Tyreek Hill. All right, his MVP chances are hurting him now. Didn't play last week. Didn't have a touchdown this week, even though he had 9 receptions for 99 yards. Still a very good player. Going to be the all-pro wide receiver. But MVP chances are hurting him. I mean, the fact that he's a wide receiver hurts already. But Cowboys, dude, they can't beat any good teams besides the Eagles. Bears, 27, Cardinals, 16. Bears are good. They're getting better, I should say. They're 6-9. Justin Fields, I feel like they can work with. Draft a receiver and a lineman in the draft. I think they'll have a solid draft. They had Justin Fields had a touchdown. Herbert had a touchdown. Cole Kmet had 107 yards receiving. And then Kyler Murray, he had 230 yards and 2 touchdowns. 45 on the ground was James Conner, and then 67 on the receiving. Through the air was James Conner as well with a touchdown. Cardinals are 3-12. So it's another team. I don't think Kyler Murray is their biggest problem right now. They need a receiver also. Alrighty, they have no really weapons at receiving. James Conner, their leading receiver, as a running back, and James Conner, if we know him, he's more of a power back. That shouldn't be the thing. Patriots though, this was embarrassing. I'm not a Broncos fan, obviously. I can care less about them. Losing out to the Patriots like that at home, prime time, that's embarrassing, dude. Embarrassing, honestly. 26-23. Listen, we lost to the Patriots. I know that, and that was embarrassing. But it was also embarrassing for the Broncos. Listen, you lose to the Patriots at home, a team that's supposed to be good, competing for a wild card spot. The Steelers and the Broncos both were. Russell Wilson, 238 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's benched now. They're going to bench him, like with contract situation. Yeah, that $400K parlay, dude. I don't know if it's now or you're talking about, but the dude hit it over the weekend. CMC anytime touchdown. That's crazy that he hit that. Zeke had a touchdown. I think he had a receiving touchdown. Yeah. Demario Douglas, 74 yards. But yeah, Broncos, they're benching Russell Wilson. It's because, well, he's playing okay football. He could play better, but they don't want to get hurt because of contract situations. I don't know. Chiefs versus Raiders, another embarrassing loss for the Chiefs. Raiders beat them 20-14. Raiders have a chance to make playoffs. Aiden O'Connell, 62 yards. That's it. And they end up beating him. That's embarrassing. He had no completions in the second half. Chiefs are 9-6. They might miss playoffs. Raiders 7-8. Mahomes 235 yards, a touchdown, and interception. He also was their leading rusher. He did everything they could. 53 yards. Rashee Rice, 6 receptions, 57 yards. But 2 touchdowns, 2 defensive touchdowns for the Raiders. That hurt them. That was embarrassing. Now at home, in that situation, you can't be losing to the Raiders. Downfall of the Chiefs? No. They make the playoffs. I won't be surprised if they make it to the AFC Championship or to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying they'll win the Super Bowl, but I would not be surprised, even if they did. Giants, Eagles won 33-25. Tyrod Taylor came in. And of course, Tommy DeVito benched or hurt. I mean, he even played bad, it looks like. 9 completions off 16 attempts, 55 yards. Passing on the ground, but no turnovers, so I'm surprised. Tyrod Taylor, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Their season's over. Eagles, though, they're competing. They're trying to play better. 11-4 they are. Jalen Hurts, he's not playing good passing-wise. I'm telling you. He had a touchdown, interception, 301 yards, but he needs to play better passing. Okay, on the ground, had a touchdown again. He broke the record for most rushing touchdowns in a season by a quarterback. If you look at them, though, majority of them are under 5 yards. They're usually on the goal line, the brotherly shove, the tush push. It's not that impressive if you look at it. Okay, compared to Cam Newton, his rushing touchdowns were a lot better. Other guys, Lamar Jackson, a lot better. Michael Vick, whoever else leads in rushing touchdowns. Josh Allen over the years. So, wasn't that impressive. And then Ravens 49ers, supposed to be the biggest game of the week, one of the biggest games of the year. 49ers end up getting embarrassed. Brock Purdy, 4 interceptions. All you got to do is have a good game. Not a great game, just a good game. And he would have still been in MVP talks. He just hurt his chances big time. 255 yards, 4 interceptions. Christian McCaffrey, helping his case. 103 yards and a touchdown. Also had 28 yards receiving. George Kittle had 126 yards receiving. Ronnie Bell was the only touchdown. Sam Darnold threw it. 81 yards and an interception Sam Darnold had also. But now Lamar Jackson's in the talks. Listen, he's good, but I don't know. He's not the MVP. I mean, it depends how he plays the next 2 weeks. He probably won't play the last week because if he clinches the first round bye. But MVP, though, I don't know. Lamar Jackson, 2 passing touchdowns and no rushing touchdowns. Playing good football. But I just don't think he's the MVP. I'm sorry, I just don't. I think it's either CMC. I think it's just CMC. I mean, I don't think there's no other anymore. I think it's just CMC. Ravens are 12-3, though. He's obviously the best team in the AFC right now and in the NFL in general. But I don't think he's the best player in the league right now. I think it's Christian McCaffrey. We'll see, though, how that quarterback bias goes. But that's all, guys. That's the NFL Week 16 recap. This is pretty long for an NFL recap. Surprised, but thank you all for watching. I'm out, guys. Peace.